recording?
Ooh, Yeah.
Also, to those of you who have dual monitors, my suggestion is to
I
keep
don't!
Audacity Well, just then keep Audacity, like, in a mini corner or something like that.
Okay.
Somewhere, just to make sure it doesn't stop, because that's been a big fear of mine.
I don't think I've ever had it stop.
I mean, yeah, mine has stopped in the past because my wires were kind of faulty.
Okay, but I got a really good computer, so I don't think it would.
Yeah, okay, fuck off.
Alright.
Give it a little test roll real quick.
How's it gonna start? How's the
Alright, okay, I'll take it.
Hey.
Okay, dude.
Got a 16 and 14. Oh, I gotta roll something?
Yeah,
just
throw one in there, dude.
Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
good.
No, because you're the bad guys, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also the good guys.
Oh, crap. No.
This is very...
Got a 2. Alright. Welcome to Eldric Madrid. I am the Palm Tree Prince, and we are surrounded by 2 of my good friends and players. We have Baggio! And then we have Griffin.
Say hi.
What it is, cuz? Let's do this.
We got Baggio. Right. We got Baggio. Put him through the freaking thing. Oh my God.
So the last thing that you guys remember happening was you had the fight at the warehouse. You had a talk with Elijah, and you mentioned Lady Lullaby.
We told him didn't we tell him to meet us that night so that we could prove it to him or something?
Yes, you wanted him to meet you at sundown over at the Apple Hub around the circus, because that's where it happened last time.
Right.
You also have the circus that will happen later today, if you want to go to it.
Okay.
That is going to be at 6.
Yeah.
Right now it is around 4. Yeah, 4 sounds good to me. And this is what we see. The camera hard cuts to a white background as it zooms out, revealing Baggio in this white room with a well in the center of it. And there's this... I don't even want to give a race to this character, because there is no real race. It's just a humanoid with all this different splatter color all over their skin. And it's not like it's paint or some type of ink. It's like literally their skin.
And this is what I'm seeing?
This is what Baggio is seeing.
Okay, so it's the chick that was in there, and she has red splotches on her skin?
A lot of different colors. Just a bunch of different colors.
Like someone splashed paint on her.
All over, yes. Her name is Keebler, and the last thing that you heard her say was, there's plenty we can do here at Keebler's Soul Binding and Soul Works.
So I'm gonna go soul binding.
Yeah, soul binding.
I'm pulling out my quarterstaff in a defensive gesture.
And she says, "Oh, no need for that type of debauchery. I am not going to hurt you. I just can help you with anything that you so require, such as take this quarterstaff." And she points at the quarterstaff that you have like in your hand. May I? And she pulls out her hand and kind of in a gesture for you to give it to her.
I'm gonna do a sense motive, which I guess in 5th edition would be an insight.
Yes.
Do I feel comfortable?
She has a very... After you rolled that, sorry, I forget this is a podcast. You rolled a 13. So after she puts her hand out, her face looks very warm. She has no indication of a smile or a frown. It seems about even, but her eyes seem kind.
Baggio being the looking for the good in people type guy, I personally believe, if I'm playing my character right, that Baggio would very hesitantly, though, hand her the staff.
She grabs the staff, and instantly you see her mood not necessarily change, but it lightens a little bit, and she gets a bit happier, and she takes a moment after wielding it for a few seconds, and she goes, it's so lightweight and emotional. This has been with you for a while, has it not?
Quite a while.
And what if something were to, happen to it? I mean, it is just a stick.
It's not just a stick, it belonged to my old master.
Of course not. That's not what I'm saying at all. it's made of a material in this world that could easily break, and I'm sure if it did, you'd be very upset.
Naturally.
So, a thing I do here at Keebler's Soul Binding and Soul Works is I do what my title says. I soul bind, and what I can do is, for a fee that we can discuss at a further notice, we could bind this to you, to your essence, to your soul. As you grow, it would grow as well.
Would there be any sort of unknown or hidden ramifications of such an act?
Well, I guess that depends on how much you pay for it, and she winks.
I see your game, witch. What is your price?
That depends on you. What would you like to actually happen? And she smiles.
Alright, so what are my options here?
So I'm going to step in here as the DM and explain that
Yeah, like out of game, what are my options here?
the options are you basically, as your character, would explain what you want to happen with this soul binding. Like, what do you want out of it? There's so many different things that you can have happen to it. Like, you could just have it level up with you. As of right now, it still has the basic stats as when you first got it. If you chose to level it, like soul bind it to yourself, it would stay with your level, and each level it would get you would have a chance to increase the stats on it. But that's just one of the things of soul binding. You could also perhaps enchant it here in the soul bindings, depending on certain things that you do. You can also like throw, hey, I want to put just for example, I want to put a curse on this object, or I want to put a spell into this object. I don't think Baguio would want to put any magic into his objects, but that's one of the things you could do.
Okay.
Here.
Baguio's going to explain to her that he would like to never need a different weapon. That's all he wants.
Could you break me off a piece of that?
So you want Baguio to speak to her,
yes.
in game? All right. I would like for my staff to grow with me.
And that can be arranged.
What sort of price are we looking at?
Now, here's my thing, and she holds out her hand, and immediately a pen and paper show up in her hands. Oof. And she starts writing. She starts writing down. Normally the prices would be in this range, and she jots something down and she hands it to you.
Okay, what am I looking at when I read it?
It's a price, and I just want to say, for comedic sake, it's high.
It's hefty sum. Okay.
It's your soul, Beej. I think that's the joke.
Is this a new? Am I looking at a numerical value, or is this something?
It's numerical. It's numerical.
Okay.
But it's something like I'm not sure if you've been keeping up with how much money you have. I hope to God you have.
I've got. Wait, where?
Let me just say I'm rolling in the dough. I'm doing pretty good for myself.
Is BJ scanning through all the episodes right now to make sure that he has?
I think he's looking in his wallet right now.
No, I've got all my.
There's moths coming out.
I'm using a whole notebook for my character sheet.
Right.
How did I not write down my goal?
Weston had 50.
Mm-hmm.
BJ, you had 20. You had spent 5 gold, plus 2 gold on the grapes, so that's 7 gold, and then you paid an additional 5 gold for the rooms for the weekend.
Right.
So 20 minus 12 equals 8. So right now you have 8 gold.
Okay.
Griffin, on the other hand, has 50, and then he spent 5 on the extortion for the woman.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute, Griffin just been letting me pay for everything. Wait a second.
That's how you stay rich.
That's how Baguio is.
But she says, see, normally the value is very high, and she takes away that piece of paper again, and she tosses it into that well in the center of the room.
Yeah. And
she continues on. I deal in things other than money as well, though. I deal in experience and the potential value in moving things around, should I say. Maybe there's a chance that you, in your actions and adventures, and she's walking around you as she says,
right,
might come across big or very legendary I should say, adventures.
Bad Gill's gonna look at her kind of with like his eyebrow cocked, and he's gonna say, "Get to it. What's the price?"
Okay. And she stops in front of you and she says, depending on the actions at some point in the future, there could be something that you do for me.
Baguio says, "I'm gonna..."
And it's real quick before you continue. It's not a thing that you would have to do for me. It's something that would just happen, good or bad, but it would be something that you would happen to you, good or bad. Now, it could be good, it could be bad, it could be neutral, it could be as small as a feather blocking your path, or as big as a building falling to the ground. It depends on the way of the future. I have many different clients all over the world that pay me to set things in motion.
Let me ask you this. You said there's a possibility of a bad thing happening. Would it only happen to me, or could it possibly hurt someone else?
It would only happen to you, dear. You're the one paying it.
Alright, as long as no one else gets hurt.
But there's also something else you could do. You could offer me things of value, or you could...
Baguio puts his hand on the puppet and kind of pushes it deeper into his belt, and he's like, "Oh, I won't be doing that one."
I'm gonna say out of game. What you could offer. This is a character I've used many different times.
Right.
What you could offer this character Keebler here is in-game stats.
So wait, I can make myself weaker to pay for her stuff?
Yes, I've had characters knock off 2 points of their constitution in order to gain some very hefty prices. It's kind of like this. I'm going to have you roll just a straight up and down D20 for certain things. So if you want something to happen that's bigger than soul binding, because soul binding is not going to make you do something completely terrible, but if you want something to happen or a question for her, you can ask her or have something happen no matter what, but it depends on the roll. So if you roll a nat 20, something good will happen to you in the future that will kind of dictate something else. But if you roll like a nat 1, something gravely bad might happen to you.
I'm gonna do that because I don't want to spend my stats.
Real quick, and she says, but if my sources are clear, you might have a friend who you might want to, talk to before you make your decision. And I'm sure he'd also like a little bit of healing as well. And she winks.
Before she finishes her sentence, the front door to this thing is like ting 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 ting, like it's opened and swinging as if Baguio ran through it, and you just hear Griffin just in the distance because he had forgot, and it's like as soon as she said, "Oh, your friend might want," and then he's just gone after Griffin.
Griff, what are you doing?
Well, I just got done pecking my seeds.
Now he's doing that thing birds do where they put up their wing and he like pecks at the side of his wing like he's cleaning himself.
And then you hear your name being called in the distance.
Griffin!
Baguio, is that you? Where you been?
Hey, Griffin!
Where you been, buddy?
And I run up to you and I'm like, "Hey, dude, crazy thing. Come with me."
Okay.
So I grab him by the wing and we run back.
Baguio, you run back through the tent, and she's still standing there in her decorum. She's just writing a certain thing, and she seems to be taking papers and putting it in the well and looking down inside of it. Wes, can you roll a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, yeah.
I got +1.
At first, it was darkness, and that's all you could see, and then you walked in, and there's a wave through your mind as if you were maybe possibly going to pass out, and then it passed, and then you saw her. This character that just seems humanoid in nature, wearing this type of dark blue gown with a little bit of a scarf attached to it, like an ascot, with their skin splattered in this splatter ink.
So one quick question about her looks. Does she have the basic features of a human, though? Like, does she look like a human who's been splattered with the paint and stuff, or does she look more like an elf? Does she look more like a a half-orc, a genasi? Like, what does she look like?
Like, she's bald for the
Right.
for one part.
Does she look like Tilda, that actor, Tilda whatever?
Tilda Swinton?
Yeah.
You know, that's actually a pretty... Yeah, you know, I'm going to say Tilda Swinton. Because I got a nice vibe from Tilda.
Weston, from Doctor Strange, the ancient one.
Oh.
Her.
Oh, wow, fuck you.
Wow.
That's pretty accurate. I mean, she's Tilda Swinton in the form of Tilda Swinton, but in the amalgamation of every other race in D&D. So I guess imagine she's just everything but Tilda Swinton. She's not like she's everything, but also Tilda Swinton. If that makes sense. You know, I'm just gonna make it so that Baguio has basically given you the rundown.
The whole way there, I very hastily and out of breathily explained the situation to him.
She comes back and she says, "It seems to me that I may have kind of given you a little bit more than I should have, as in terms of exposition, if you may. With the soul binding, it's not as much as you guys would need. More than you have, Baguio. It's not that much. It's about 50 gold. It's more than you have as well, Griff.
Damn.
But
she's over here counting my pockets.
Yeah, basically. But I do take favors. And if you guys want soul binding...
Really?
Baguio starts unbuttoning his shirt and he's like, what kind of favors?
At this point, it's up to you guys. What, like,
right.
I know you have a sword and an eagle bow.
Yes, I do.
I'm not sure.
I have an idea.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we doing this in game?
Yeah, I'd appreciate it, unless there's something like a mechanic that you want to ask about. Otherwise, I'd appreciate in game.
So, Miss Magic Lady
Keebler, yeah.
Keebler, I've heard you can do wonders with weapons and whatnot.
That's correct.
I was wondering if you could take my short sword and make it to where it carries momentum, if I'm making myself clear.
Like a boomerang or something that just you can throw?
No,
like a dart.
I meant like how do I say this? It like harnesses energy. Like if I block something, I take the momentum from the opponent's swing.
So are you talking about kind of like Black Panther's suit?
Yeah. You mean kinetic energy?
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for.
Kinetic energy. Nice.
I could definitely do that. And she cracks her knuckles and she says, "That sounds very interesting to me. Something that would be very fun."
Seems like she hasn't had to do something like that in a while.
Of course, I can't do it for free, but I'd be very interested, to say the least.
Name your price.
Baguio raises his hand and goes, "I just want my stick to be a good stick."
1 second, my dog opened my door, and...
That's freaky.
He's just on 2 legs, dude. DJ turns around, Diesel's on 2 legs, twists the knob, opens the door.
He's like, "What's up, motherfucker?"
He's like, "Where's my food?" Starts beating you up.
She laughs after you say you just want your stick to be a good stick. I'm gonna ask, so you just want soul binding, Baguio, and then Weston, you would like to add an enchantment onto your weapon.
Yes.
That I like that a lot, and
that's thinking outside the box, Wes. I like it.
That's from watching Marvel and The Flash, dude.
That's what I'm saying, man. You're smarter. You're getting smarter.
I'm getting nerdier.
I appreciate it.
Wes is like, I hate it.
So she sits on one side of the well, and she beckons one of you forward, and she says, "Who's first?"
Baguio's going to take his stick and push Griffin ahead of him.
It's only fair. So Griffin looks back at Baguio and kind of shakes his head in disappointment.
Baguio gives you a nervous thumbs up.
I guess I'll go first.
She puts out both of her hands and gestures for you to take them.
Griff takes her hands one at a time.
And without blinking, in fact, her eyelids have opened up even more, and she stares into you, Griff.
Oof.
Yeah.
And she says...
Baguio goes, "I'm so sorry."
She says, "Oh, I'm sorry. That was very traumatic. Is that why you're here in Jacobi?
Are you talking about what I think you're talking about? My childhood?
Yep. I'm waist deep in your memories right now, boy.
Whoa.
Just a quick thing. I'm going through your childhood memories and trying to reach the present, and then I'm going to reach your future to then ask something of you. And she says, if there's anything you don't want me to mention, just speak up.
Now that Baggio's right behind me, just don't mention about Cancun. Okay,
Yeah, I got you. No problem. She then closes her eyes and stops, like moving, and then she opens them back up and she says, okay, there's going to be a moment in the future. You're going to be in a land that you never thought you would ever be at. And I'm going to have to say
Disneyland?
Yeah, am I going to go to Disneyland? Yeah, you're going to go to Disneyland. There's going to be an object that you're going to grab. You're going to be the first one to grab it. And I want you to make sure that it belongs to the right people. And when you get to that object, you will see me again. And she lets go of your hands. Roll a d20. You're going to also write this down, by the way. You're
This
going to put
number?
Keebler. Yeah, this number. You're going to write Keebler and then whatever this number is going to be.
Oh, God. Is it Keebler?
It's Kiebler.
What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Alright, here we go.
Okay. All right.
16.
Nice.
A good, bad? Am I dead?
Yes. No, you're not dead. Don't worry.
I say that's probably above average on the good side.
Yes, that is very good.
Good luck, Baggio.
And then, after that happens, she grabs your sword, she dips it into the well, stirs it around a bit, and then hands it back to you. And I'm not sure if you've ever really, you know what your aura is, what your color is, Griffin, but I'm not sure if Griffin has ever actually seen anything happen like this. You take the sword, and as you take the sword, before you even touch it, this type of webby type color, no, not the color, web, this webby material that is night sky kind of emanates from between you and the sword as it connects onto the sword. And then
It's connecting to your soul.
no, it's not being soul bound, but the aura pulses through the sword into these weird spiral shapes into the short sword, and it looks like a night sky, and then it glows for a second, and then it goes out. And she says, "Okay, don't poke your eye out with that one." And she winks.
I'm stirring up dope in the crock pot.
Baggio throws his stick into the well. No, I'm kidding.
No, Baggio goes head first into the well.
Baggio jumps into the well.
Looks like you're up to bat, Baggio.
As she gestures for you to come forward.
Baggio slowly kind of steps up towards the well, hands her the stick.
She looks at it for a second, and then she grabs it with one hand, and then she points it at you, and she says, "Grab on."
I reach out with my little turtle hand and grab the end of it.
Can you make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage?
Alright. My wisdom's low anyway. No, my wisdom's high. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay, roll once, roll twice. 13,
Okay,
14,
so
15.
15 and a 19. So a 15. You don't go into a state or anything like that. You're aware of all your surroundings, but you suddenly feel and remember what is going on right now. Not through any of your memories, but she is going through the lifespan of this stick. It was a tree. It was a big tree, Baggio. It was a huge, magnificent tree in the middle of this forest and swampy area. There were so many plants and so many trees around it in a smaller... This had to be a life tree of some type of swamp somewhere.
I assume this was hundreds of years ago?
This was hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, because you see a time lapse of this swamp as the sun goes up and down, up and down, up and down, countless times as you're watching it. and suddenly there seems to be some battle that ensues randomly that stops the time lapse as people come in with fire and all these different types of elements. There's weapons and arrows blocking out the sun, and there's people just trying to attack inside. There's these humans and genasi, elves, dwarves, and a race of people you've maybe even heard of, but you've never seen before ever again.
What are they?
They're the race that was genocided maybe a century ago before this Genasi debacle happened. The reason the Genasi are adamant of taking over the world, so nothing like that happened again. The Bedrocklam, they're there as well, attacking through this, what now is becoming a mush swamp, as all these trees are being knocked over and burnt, and it seems to be emanating through this forest around this huge giant tree. And as you are looking at this time lapse again, it stops as the camera zooms inside the forest, and you see a familiar but younger sight of Jacobi standing at the base of the tree with all this chaos happening around him.
Baguio is visibly emotional from seeing Jacobi again.
He's much younger. He's much younger. There's no crack in his shell. There's no scars on his hands. There seems to be one affliction around him right now. He has a ponytail that seems to be very long, and he looks like he's backing up into this tree. There's an army coming towards him right now, and he's backing slowly and slowly into the tree, and the camera just zooms around him to see people coming towards him, and you don't see what's going on. I mean, you see what's going on, you can't hear what's happening, but they're coming closer and closer, and at one point, Jacobi backs into the tree, and he grabs onto the tree and closes his eyes, almost as if he's accepting his fate, and then his eyes burst open with this sudden realization, and from his pocket he pulls a turquoise orb from his hand, and he stares at it as it glows, as the army seems to be coming closer with arrows drawn. He turns back to the tree, looks at it, puts the orb into the tree, and then he looks into the tree, rubs it, and then thrusts his hand back inside the tree, and pulls out this quarterstaff and turns to the army coming towards him. As they march forward, he closes his eyes as this quarterstaff with this gem at the end of it starts glowing his color, this aquamarine, and his eyes glow even further like they're on fire but aquamarine, and he jumps into the air and does a spin, and then he falls down like Doomfist's ult into the crowd of the army and just sends a massive dust storm around, sending the army back. And then there's a bunch of different shots of Jacobi taking out armies. He's not killing anyone.
No, right.
He's not killing anyone. He's just sending them back away from this bog, away from this marsh, and he attacks all of these different races, and they keep coming at him one at a time, and then at one point they all are on top of him, and he does another spin and launches them away, and there's another time lapse as it shows him taking on this army and pushing them back through this bog to the point where they retreat as more wild animals start helping him. Raccoons, horses, and owls, and all these different forest folks just start helping him. Then the camera cuts, and we see Jacobi kneel at the base of the tree, and he puts the quarterstaff up, and he looks down as the camera blurs his face as we focus on the quarterstaff's orb, and then it cuts. And you're back with Keebler.
Baguio's a little teary-eyed.
She holds up the quarterstaff, and she says, "This is very powerful, Baguio, and it holds all of Jacobi's memories, and I shouldn't say this, but this was probably, in essence, what Jacobi was." And she hands the quarterstaff to you, Baguio.
Baguio's gonna take it And he kind of looks down at it and sniffles. His eyes are kind of watering a little bit, and he goes, I knew it was a real good stick.
Yeah, it's a real good stick.
Just a stick, for crying out loud.
Can I roll a little attack to just bash him in the stomach with the end of it? I'm just gonna poke him in the stomach.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll. I'm just gonna say like
I go,
he goes. Ooh,
But then I block it with my new kinetic energy sword.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and then and she finally after you take the stick, she grabs it again and wraps your hands around it, and as she's saying it, starts to slowly glow from where you're holding it, turquoise, and she stares into your eyes, Baguio, and you're gonna have to remember this one. You're going to. And she says, in the future, there's going to be someone that you're going to have to trust, but not fully, protect, and may have to take out. Otherwise, and her eyes go wider, and she says, this world might not survive. Roll a d20.
So that's really good. So basically, you just told Baguio he might have to kill someone to save the whole world?
Basically.
Oof. Yeah!
19.
Where'd that 2 come from?
I was when I was in the mid of my monologue, I was like, what? Why'd you roll a 2? You have now rolled a 19. This could have a very good prophecy. It's not okay. This prophecy is really, really tough because you rolled a 19. So no matter what, it will be good for you, but it might not be good for the world, if that means anything. But I want you to remember this.
Okay, so may have to kill someone to save world.
They also said trust. You have to trust them. You have to protect them. And you may have to defeat them to save the world.
He trusts, he protect, but also he attack.
I'm also going to add this. She's not going to say anything, but this is a character that you could come back and you can ask them any question that you have, and they can give you an answer, but if the price is right. I'm not going to give you another one of these where the prophecy is going to be the one that, like, she's not going to give you another prophecy every time you show up. It's going to be maybe a different price.
Can she do basic fortune telling?
She can do basic fortune telling for a smaller price. She literally can tell you anything that you ever need to know, but for a price.
And depending on the question, the price could be higher or lower.
Like who Lady Lullaby is?
Oh.
You could ask her that, but also you're going to write this down next to your sword. Can we come up with a different name for your sword?
Yeah. Short sword.
Because, like, we can bounce things off of each other, but I'm going to say this is one of the things that had... This happened while Keebler was giving you the sword. She went through your mind and basically pulled out a name for the sword, and it was engraved onto the hilt, what the name of the sword is. You can come up with it right now.
Okay.
But whatever that name is going to be engraved onto the hilt of that sword.
Oh, that's funny.
What?
I just thought of, like, Widowmaker.
Real quick, Baguio. What I'm telling Griffin right now is that while that thing with the sword was happening, Keebler went inside Griffin's head and pulled out the name of the sword for the short sword. So right now...
Oh, so his sword's got a name now.
Yep. It's called Widowmaker. No.
Oh!
No.
That would be cool.
But it got engraved onto the hilt of the sword.
Does Baguio's stick have a sword? Or a sword a name?
It's the staff of Yogg-Queg.
But now we're trying to basically pitch a name for the sword.
Heart Eater.
I would like to hear what Griff...
No, I'm just riffing.
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to, like... But think of it from, like, Griffin's point of view and shit. And, like, shit he's gone through. Because, like, Leo and Eden, his parents, and West Haven, what happened.
I don't mean to pick a name for you, but here's an idea from me. How about Knight's Edge?
Knight's Edge?
Yeah, because you're night sky color, and it's a sword. Yeah. Knight's Edge.
Keep in mind, you don't have to pick any of the ideas.
No. None of the ideas we pick, you need to pick. I'm just pitching. Talon could be a good one.
You know, if you want, we could say, if you have an idea for it, you can say it.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Kokra,
what?
I was thinking something like Kokra's Revenge.
What?
Like Aarakocra, but short like Kokra's Revenge. Or like Leo's Revenge, or that's just something that popped in my head, but I'm trying to think of something cooler.
You could call it oh god, okay. I don't like revenge necessarily, but I like let me go on thesaurus.com real quick.
Crow Caliber.
Stormbreaker.
Copyright.
Here's an idea.
Knight's Revenge.
I don't know where you got the sword or like in game, but something that I thought was cool. It could be like Eden's Protection. But what I could say, if you'd like, that the camera cut right before the name was engraved onto the sword.
Buzzard's Bane.
Ooh.
I was just thinking of who I was going after. It's the Buzzards.
I was saying Buzzard's Bane sounds cool.
Buzzard's Bane? Is that it?
That or like Buzzard's Fall?
Buzzard Fall.
Oh, Buzzard's Fall? Okay, we could do that.
I figured though for mine Deeds just the Staff of Yogg-Quig.
That's fine.
Because, of course, Baggio wouldn't rename it, and since it was Yogg-Quig's staff.
Yeah, let's just go with Buzzard's Fall.
Name it These Hands.
These Hands. You're back. Catch these hands. Literally, I'm on a sword name generator.
God. Just think, use your brain.
Buzzard's Fall. Like, that's fun. I like that.
Alright, Buzzard's Fall.
Sword name generator.
But, like, I was just looking at some of the ideas, like Fall, Revenge, End.
I like, you know what? I like Buzzard's End.
Here's the Yuan-Ti queen that led the Yuan-Tis that attacked my village.
Hot. HAWT. Hot.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so is it Buzzard's Fall then?
Yeah.
Alright, then that basically glows onto the hilt of the sword.
I think it should get +1 against members of the Buzzards.
Ooh. Yeah, write that down. Anyone who has affiliations with Buzzards gets a +1 to attack. Actually, since it's such a small, like, minute type of people, I think it should have a +3 to attack.
Oh, because you don't really see them that much.
Yeah. +1 is, like, cool if it's every other person, but if it's only Buzzards that you're after, a +3 would really hit.
I like it.
I think it should be Killshot.
I think it should be Vorpal. No, I'm kidding.
So, was there anything else that you wanted to do with Keebler?
Oh, do we need to change the stats on my weapon, or?
Yes. All right.
He gets +5 when he attacks Yogg-Quig.
No! I would never. I would die first.
I think he's dead, though, right?
Yogg-Quig is dead, so.
So right now, it says my quarterstaff does 1d6 bludgeoning damage, and that's literally all it does.
So here's what it's going to do now, is it does 1d6, and this isn't to attack, this is 1d6 +3. This is what I want to do. Each time you level up, I want to... So right now you have +2.
So 1d6... So +2 to my attack?
No, 2 damage.
Okay,
so like you roll...
+2.
It also has a feature.
Oh. I want to make it its own page. 1 second. Staff of Yogg-Quig deals 1d6 +2. What's the feature?
It gets advantage on attacks whenever in forest areas, anywhere nature-based. Advantage in nature.
Alright, 1d6 +2 damage and advantage on attack in nature.
Right. Now back to Buzzard's Fall. What are the stats on it right now?
1d6, and then +3 to Buzzards.
That's to attack on the Buzzards. Then this one's also going to get a feature. This might break the game, but I think this is only fair.
Oh.
Not for you, I mean for me. It might break the game towards me. It has to take 3 hits, and you're going to have to remember this because it's hard to like paraphrase this onto a page. It has to take 3 hits, so what that means is you have to block it with your sword specifically 3 times, any type of hit. And once that happens, you have the ability to basically anyone within a 5-foot radius of you, knock them prone. They will have to make a dexterity saving throw to make sure they don't land prone.
Is it 3 hits in a row, or just 3 hits during a fight?
Just 3 hits during a fight. It refreshes every day, so you can't be like, oh, but 3 weeks ago I hit this guy twice.
So if he doesn't use his charges in a 24 hours, they go away.
Yeah. So that does it for your weapons. You guys are officially leveled up with your weapons. We have some nice background for them. Griffin has not had his sword soul bounded to himself, so he can basically get rid of it at some point or lose it and like it not be a big deal.
Could he soulbind it in the future?
He can soulbind it in the future,
okay.
But as for right now, I don't think he should because I think it's more narratively interesting for as of right now.
Are you gonna? You said you were gonna ask her.
Oh yeah. So Baggio's gonna ask her. He's gonna say, "So I can ask you anything, correct?"
You could ask me anything in the world, and I could tell you the answer for a price. And I kind of already took that prophecy angle from you, so you'd have to give me something kind of special, depending on the question, of course. If you wanted to ask me what color your eyes were, I would probably give you that one free of charge, if that makes a good example.
Right. So, my question's pretty simple, just a bit of history, maybe a little bit of the supernatural side of things, which you seem to be quite knowledgeable in.
She throws her hands up in a gesture of like, yeah.
Have you ever heard of an entity that goes by Lady Lullaby?
Of course.
What can you tell us about her?
I could tell you that Lady Lullaby isn't her real name. That's a freebie, but that's just what a select group of individuals have started to call her.
So you know about the kids, then?
I know basically everything.
Right.
So if...
My mistake.
Yes. So if you want to know more, you just tell me exactly what you need to know, and then I could give you a price, and we could figure something out.
Why is she here taking children? And why? Okay. And how come only me and my friend here? How come only me and my friend the bird here can see the ghosts? Oh wait, was that racist? I'm sorry. Bird.
Bird. Bird. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
Have you guys ever seen the animated Grinch where he starts smiling?
Yeah.
And the corners roll up?
That's basically when you ask why can me and my friend only see her, that's the smile she starts to give.
Oh, God.
And she says, I could tell you these things, of course. I just think that in this position, you're going to have to give me something.
What do you want?
What can you provide? At this point, out of character, you guys are going to have to give her something, as in maybe something that you guys can sacrifice to her. Like, I know you guys just got your weapons leveled up, but now that they're kind of powerful, you could give them to her. I wouldn't recommend it because I think they're cool.
How about my firstborn?
You could do that. You could promise that.
Oh, God. I don't know if I do this.
You could. That's one of the things that you basically can give up anything to see if it's worth it.
How about my thirdborn?
That one might be a little less likely because how many times is Griffin really going to be played? Yeah, exactly.
How much gold do you want, lady?
Oh, for that one, it's for that type of information, it'd probably be around 300 gold.
Oh, whew. We're going to have to go rob a bank or something.
Baggio's like tugging on the edge of his shell around his neck.
She
Baggio goes, I've never seen that much gold in one place in my life.
She smiles again. She says, I basically cater to the filthy rich. Anyone who wants something to happen in the world pays me to make it happen by giving these types of prophecies to certain people and pushing them in the right direction, if that means anything to you.
Alright, Baggio, I think
What about something? Okay. Listen, lady. How about this? What about things that are important to us? Would that be worth anything to you?
Yes, but they'd actually have to be important.
Are you able to tell if it's important or not to us?
Of course.
Baggio reaches down and pulls out the puppet, and he looks at it for a minute and says, if you tell us everything about Lady Lullaby that we've asked, would this be worth it?
She smiles like she's trying to hold back a laugh, but she pats the puppet's head and she says, he is very important to you, but I don't think...
It's for the kids, come on! I'm worried about him.
Yeah, I think she's in on it.
I know. I do too.
I am a neutral being. She just says, I just don't think he's as important to you as he would be to someone else. But I'm here whenever you guys need me.
Forget this broad bag. Yeah, let's go. We're gonna have to do this on our own.
Before you even finish that, she snaps her fingers, and you guys are outside of the tent.
Okay. All right, we're gonna have to do this on our own.
Baggio is petting the pup, and he goes, I'm sorry, Shelly, I didn't mean it, and he puts it back in his waistband.
It already had a name!
He named it, though. He changed its name.
What was it?
Franklin.
Oh, okay, Franklin. I forgot about that. Franklin the turtle, I like it. He goes, I'm sorry, Franklin, I didn't mean it. He puts it back in his pocket.
Okay, now what are you guys gonna do?
God, I'm pissed off, Griffin. I'm pretty pissed off. Let's go chill at the circus. Wait a second. Grapes of Wrath. The powder.
Maggie, like somebody said grapes?
1 second. How dare they sully the good name of grapes? Baggio rifles through his bag and pulls out a map of the town. And he puts his finger on the Grape Village section and says, The Grapes of Wrath! I remember them now. They're the ones who have the powder. And if she's not going to tell us anything about Lady Lullaby, at least we can find out more about that stupid powder. Let's go to the Grape Village, and then we'll go to the fair or to the circus tonight.
Okay, so Griff picks up Baggio, and when they fly to Grape Village.
Okay, so you guys also remember from the very first session we had that the Earth Genasi came into the House Cat Tavern and got the powder from Isabel, the bartender.
Right, yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm gonna tug on your pant leg, Griffin, and say, swing by the tavern. We need to question her.
The reason I bring this up is because Elijah asked you guys where the powder came from, because you guys were following the Earth Genasi before he had a chance to see.
And we both didn't want to give her name out.
Tell him. Yeah.
Alright, so we fly over to the tavern.
You see a familiar House Cat Tavern. You guys can take the reins from here.
Alright, so Baggio's gonna run up, push the door open, and walk in.
You see a fairly packed bar. It's not super big, but it's like, it's the festival. Everyone's inside here. There's a bunch of bartenders at the bar that are serving certain people, but if you're looking for Isabella, she's there, but she's not behind the bar. She's more... If you look up the stairs, you can see her looking down into the bar, but from... like
she's surveying the bar.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you think we should do, Griff?
Let's go.
Should we just go up to her?
I believe so.
Right, we're going to approach the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
Does she do anything? Does she see us?
I mean, she's not really paying much attention to you guys. It just seems to be looking at the bar.
Isabella.
What? Yeah?
Isabella.
Yeah.
Isabella!
Yeah, what?
Isabella, listen. And I'll take her by the hand a little bit. Listen, we need to go somewhere.
She doesn't... You, try to grab her hand and she just pulls a little bit away. Not like she's pissed or anything like that. She just kind of, doesn't want you to touch her. But continue.
Isabella, no, listen. I mean no harm. We need to go somewhere private. We have to talk.
No?
Please.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
I hand her a gold coin. Please, we need to talk.
I'm not a sex worker.
It's not.
What do you...
Oh! Baggio's blushing. He feels very uncomfortable. Baggio's a virgin.
Hot.
Baggio's like, no, I would never. That's no.
Okay,
well now I feel upset.
Why?
We just need to ask you a few questions.
No, wait, I didn't mean I would never with you. I just meant I have no. Oh God! So Baggio's freaking out right now.
Oh my God! What do you need? And she, a few more people pass by her, going to their rooms.
We need to ask you about the powder.
I can't wear pants because of my shell. I'm not being forward.
It's not even like I want you to want me, Baka.
My name's Baggio, not Baka. No, I'm kidding.
She goes, oh, what are you guys looking for? What type of powder?
Like the good stuff.
Okay, well, you can...
No, I'm kidding.
Listen.
The powder that you got. You know what powder we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, listen, I'm not a dealer, so you're gonna have to go talk to one of my girls, so not me. Like, I'm. What do you guys want?
Want to know where you got the powder from, and why are you?
Why am
Isabella? There's a oh god, there's a character after you. Have you ever heard of a half elf named Elijah?
No.
He's asking questions about.
You guys are freaking me out. Like, what? You are half breathing for some reason right now, and you are asking me about things that I have the information about, and I'm telling you, and you're like, nah. What?
Baggio's thinking about sex now, and he's kind of uncomfortable.
He's lost focus. Just picture her naked, Baggio.
No, Griffin.
Listen, if you want to do something about that V card, I can help you out with that later.
But Baggio, you're. And he's in his. He falls to the ground, and I use my.
You use your what?
I use my retractability, and I go into my shell, and I go prone on the ground in my shell.
But then you hear one little.
Shell defense. I activate shell defense.
And then you hear one little what?
For my pee-pee. Yeah.
I want to know about the powder that you got from the Genasi.
Oh, you guys are still on that, and she like pinches the bridge of her nose. Like, just it's over. It's done with.
No, it's not over. We need to know, or else you might be in some grave danger. The what? The what? Elijah. Elijah is asking questions about where this powder came from, and we're afraid that he's going to hurt you or worse.
I don't know who Elijah is.
Well, trust me, we know who he is, and we just need to protect you.
Oh, you need to protect me. Listen, guys, I appreciate it. I really do, but I have enough protection. This whole bar is my protection. This whole village is my protection. I don't need the help from you.
Baggio slowly coming back out of his shell.
Really? You have protection? You use protection?
I'm
getting fed up, dude.
What he said, but here, try this. Try to touch me swiftly.
Alright,
so
Griffin reaches out and grabs her arm or something.
Roll a d20.
Oh god, I'm about to get slapped here.
You're about to get faded.
A 7.
She gonna fold you like an omelet.
You reach out to try and you reach out to try and like touch her like really quickly, and then all of a sudden there's just a metal dart that just right into your arm. It's not going to give you any harm or like any damage, but it just like sticks you right into the arm. It's just a little needle.
It hurts a little bit.
If you look down, you see a bunch of eyes. Not a bunch of eyes, but you see from the direction it came from, like a girl sitting down at one of the tables, just staring up at you with sly eyes. And she goes, well, sorry about that. And she grabs the needle and she tosses it back downstairs, and the girl catches it and she goes, but I don't need protection?
So are you asking for a prize?
For what?
Oh my god! Baggio, deal with this woman.
You want powder? Okay, here's what I got from you. Talking about the powder. You want some powder? I can get you some powder.
Listen. Let me restart here. Griffin, go have a drink.
No. You stay here.
Listen. Let me talk. Okay, here's what's going on. Okay. We met a man named Elijah, and a half-elf. We don't know where he's from. We don't know exactly why he's here. But we met him in this bar. He was after the man that you gave the large thing of powder to. All right. We followed them.
Stupid thing to do, but go on.
We followed him because he looked bad. When we did, we found out that this man Elijah is going after these people who are involved with the powder. And he killed people. All right? I'm just going to come right out and say it. He killed people. He asked where the buzzard got the powder. We did not tell him that he got it from you. All right. I do not want you to be needlessly brought into this conflict. So I wanted to warn you and tell you that someone is coming after you. And it could be a problem.
She had her arms crossed the entire time, and she seemed kind of uncaring, and she says, "Okay, I appreciate the heads up. Thank you. I knew the business with the Genasi would have been terrible, but it was honestly the only option I had. And it was a weird order to begin with, but it was one I had to fill. As for this Elijah character, I don't know what to do about that, but you guys are coming in here talking about powder. Listen, that's what we do here. That's just kind of the thing. We sell," but she says, that's just what I do. I sell goods. We sell goods. You guys aren't from around here, I'm guessing.
No, not at all.
Okay, well, in this village, they're run by the Grapes of Wrath, and that would be my girls. That's me.
You are the ringleader of the Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah, that's not really a national secret, but those are my girls. Now, if you guys want some powder, we can get you some powder. It's kind of busy right now, but what do you guys want to do about that?
I do not partake.
So she. When did we figure out she was in the Grapes of Wrath?
No, she just told us.
Well, I know, but she said it's pretty obvious that I'm in.
Well, because you guys are from out of town, she's just the, people who are around there are like, yeah, she's kind of the girl to go to. But the mayor said that they got the powder from the leader of the Grapes of Wrath. And you guys put 2 and 2 together because Isabel was the one who gave the Earth Genasi the powder.
Okay.
From that, though, if you guys want information, this is something that, a lot of people in my game struggle with, maybe because I miscommunicate or something along the times. But if you want something from this NPC, you're going to have to be specific on what you want from this NPC, thinking about who she is, what she has told you.
Well, now that I know she's in the Grapes of Wrath, these questions are going to change.
Baggio kind of likes her, so he just wanted her to know that someone might try to kill her.
All right.
So why did you give the mayor, or this Genasi, this powder? You're just a drug dealer, basically, in this town?
I'm kind of, yeah, we deal in our powders, if you want to call them drugs, because...
What's the powder do?
Some of them aren't.
Yeah, what effect does it have on you?
Well, it's all different, honestly. Each one is different. This was the weirdest order I ever had to fill.
Specifically, what did that one do?
So, most of the time, any of the powder that we actually make is a specific color for a specific effect. Blue for a nice chill time, red for a kind of aggressive, if that'd be the term to use. But this one, we had to be very specific and concise with it. We used all these different powders that we had created in the past to make this big one. And to be honest, I wasn't fully aware of the full effect that it would have. Because if anyone took even a little bit of that powder, it would hurt them.
So you said F it and mixed everything.
I didn't say F it mixed everything. I did mix everything, but someone else was saying fuck it.
Who was that? Who
placed the order?
It was an order by the leaders of this town, she air quotes, the Genasi. They basically came into my bar one night, didn't realize, but told me that they knew who I was, and if I didn't help them, they were going to take us out. And we're not bad people. We're just people.
You're not bad people. Just drug dealers. You're not bad people.
We're just trying to survive. We're a family, and we're trying to make it. It's hard being in a town or in this entire world and not do something bad.
I do it every day.
Well, you have a home on your back. You don't have someone threatening to take that away from you every day.
That's true. Baggio doesn't need a house.
Exactly. She continues, though, and she says, I have powder. I have an idea of what it could do to you, but I don't think that whatever they needed it for was going to be the most sane experience.
Do you think that it could possibly be an experiment of some kind?
I mean, I'm sure it could be anything at this point. Well, first of all, you guys aren't going to tell anyone what's going on.
Baggio looks at her. I promise.
Okay, because we got some disturbing information a while ago, and we're kind of worried, honestly. That's why this place is so packed.
You're trying to hint at something, right?
No. Well, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, at a game. What information? What was it?
Well, the Lemonheads got hit a couple hours ago pretty bad. Leader's dead. A couple other members.
We were there.
Oh, okay.
Baggio, just being the honest guy he is, he says, we were there.
You say that, and a needle goes flying past your head.
Okay.
Did she throw it at us?
So she thinks
I'm
gonna roll an insight to see.
Is that
I'm gonna roll an insight to see if I know where it came from.
I'm just gonna give it to you.
Oh, okay.
It was the girl that threw it at you.
Oh, from the back.
Yeah.
It was from downstairs. It wasn't Isabella who did that.
Tell your women to stand down.
As long as you don't kill them?
Why would I kill them?
What do you mean?
I don't
because
I haven't killed anyone.
You killed the Lemonheads.
You
killed the leader.
I killed no one.
You just said you were there.
Yes, but I didn't kill anyone. I almost got killed trying to help someone.
Oof. She rolls her eyes and she's like rubbing her temples and she goes,
You know who killed them? Elijah, the guy who was looking for you.
She stops for a moment and then she goes, you know what? Okay, fine. And she heads down the stairs and she heads behind the bar. You guys are following, I'm assuming.
She kind of cute.
Yeah, she's really cute. She's got big old eyes and pink hair, and she's a high elf.
She got big old something else, if you know what I'm saying.
She goes behind the bar.
I'm kidding.
He's not.
She goes behind the bar, and there's a room behind the bar, and she basically is just going. She wants you to follow, but if you don't follow, she's not gonna fucking stop.
I'm following. I'm also scratching the spot where the dart flew past me because I'm like, oof, that almost hit me.
And then she opens one of the floorboards, which leads into a set of stairs, and also goes down that one. And as you guys go down that one, you see a huge basement filled with a bunch of people wearing these types of masks over their mouths as they're making this powder, all different types of colors, and
Is this a sweatshop?
Basically, it's a sweatshop, but yeah.
It's like Breaking Bad.
This is Breaking Bad-esque type stuff that's going on right now. And she walks past it, and she goes into an office, and inside the office there's a metal window, and there's a window with a metal bearing over it, and she just kind of rolls it down over the windows.
I'm gonna lean over and whisper to Griffin, like, morally, I don't know how I feel about this, but then I keep following her.
And she sits down in one of her chairs as another girl walks into the office and sits on one side of her, and then another girl sits on the other side. She's a high elf, and then the two that just walked in, one was a gnome, and the other one was a dwarven woman. And they both take a seat. So there's a table, there's her, and then on the left is the dwarven one, and on the right is the gnome.
So who's your friends you got here?
They help me run the Grapes of Wrath.
I'm Baggio, and I put my hands out toward them.
Oh my god.
The gnome reaches out and shakes her hand, but then stops when the dwarf woman stares at her. So Isabella says, "Okay, here's the thing. You guys know too much. We're not going to kill you because I just realized I said you know too much when I brought you down into this basement.
Yeah, that's
we're
kind
not
of a red flag.
Yeah, we're not going to kill you, but you know too much. So I'm thinking." And the dwarven woman says, "Isabella, what are we going to do? I don't..."
Wait, that's a woman?
Yeah, she's a dwarf. Dwarves are very gruff.
Okay.
"I don't know what we're going to do, laddie." And Isabella says, "Yeah, I'm thinking." And the gnome goes, I think here's how we should go. We use Baggio here. Is that your name?
Yeah, he's a little shy. That's his name.
Hi, I'm Baggio.
Okay, we'll use Bargo here, and we could use him, and we could use the bird.
Oh, bird!
And we...
What's everybody calling me Bird today?
You're the only one who didn't give her name.
Oh. Just call me Bird.
You guys are very rude boys. Okay, bad.
No, I like it. I liked the character trait of Griffin being offended by being called Bird. I like it. Oh, it's kind of like when you call Venom a parasite, and he's like, Parasite!
We could use the bird, and we could have them feed information to Elijah to keep us out of the sites.
I like it.
And then Isabel says, yeah, that might... Okay, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. Okay, what... Is this Elijah character dangerous?
He's hard to figure out. We don't know what his real motives are.
He seems magic.
But I think he's doing it for the... I don't know.
We don't know why he's doing it. But he's doing it.
Are you guys affiliated with him?
I believe we are on Mufkin. I do believe we are on unsteady friendship terms with him.
Did he send you to kill us?
Of course not. If he did, I wouldn't have came.
Then why'd you kill the Lemonheads?
We didn't.
They also rubbed their nose for a second.
Then
why were you there?
We went there to meet Elijah.
To kill him, right? Okay.
You understand the confusion when you say you were there and you didn't kill anyone, but you were there to meet Elijah, but...
Baggio raises his hand. I've literally never killed anyone in my life.
Okay. Okay, I feel like we've gone down the wrong path right now.
The rabbit hole.
Okay. Off script. I don't know if we should have told him everything.
It's fine, Griffin. Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, BJ's sitting here like, fuck.
No, okay, so off.
No. Baggio, listen. When I play a character in D&D, every decision I make is what the character would do, not the best choice. So
you just gave away that we're working with Elijah, basically.
Yeah.
And that
because he would be honest.
Is part of this string of drug dealing that we're trying to investigate.
Can she see that Baggio's just being brutally honest? Can she not see that?
That's the only reason she hasn't killed you guys necessarily.
Baggio's just weird. Okay? He's just weird.
He is weird and a virgin. How old are you, by the way? Off script.
I am. Oh, off script, I'm 29.
I mean, I'm
not. No.
It's not even.
Baggio's 20.
You were 26 when you were younger.
I'm sorry.
No, but that was years ago.
Hasn't it only been 3 years? What did you say? How long did you say it was?
This was when you were a young kid, basically. And
no. How long has it been since my backstory to now?
That's up to you. But my thing is, you were a kid type thing, 26 when that happened,
right?
And I don't think you grew this wise in 3 years.
I'm gonna say 10.
Okay. Let's say it's been 10. Yeah, no, that's good. Let's say about 10 years. So Baggio's 30.
Virgin, that's what I was
36,
at, but it's fine.
But since turtles are so long lived, 36 is still young for a turtle.
I know you guys are weirded out by where you've basically found yourself at.
And I don't know. We're just caught in the middle right now. Are we working with Elijah or are we not? Because I thought we were, but we're not.
Because you guys are just trying to find out information. You guys are trying to find out the truth right now. You guys found yourself here, but you also told Elijah that you'd meet him later at sundown.
Let me just put in the Discord real quick how I'm feeling right now.
In conclusion, I regret this. She goes, listen, I just don't want to die. I'm very protected here, but you guys killed the Lemonheads.
We did not.
Then why were you with Elijah to kill the Lemonheads?
We kind of got We kind of got roped into this whole mess, okay? We're not killers. We're good people. Dang it. Baggio punches the wall. We're good people, dang it.
This is how I feel right now.
Wait, I got one.
I don't know what to do.
Roll persuasion.
No, wait. This is what Baggio wants to do right now.
Peace. Okay, persuasion. 16.
Because I'm 16.
So 16.
Growing up so fast.
All right, say what you try to persuade her. You gotta say it.
Okay, you gotta word this perfectly.
God, I don't even know what I'm trying to persuade her to.
That we're not murderers.
Okay. All right, listen here, lady. Baggio, he don't kill. That's his thing. Like, whatever. Cool. He might be a pussy. Whatever. It's fine.
What?
But we don't have bad intentions. We're just trying to make everything right and move on with our lives. And we got caught up in this mess, and we're just trying to put an end to it. Now, if you give us a reason to hurt you, at least I will. But as long as everybody's calm and collective and grown-ups about it, we'll be fine. No harm, no foul. We just want information.
Okay, well, I believe him. And the dwarf says, okay, sounds kind of accurate. And then Isabella speaks up. Okay, fine. You guys are good people, whatever you want to say. But it doesn't change the fact that now I got I gotta meet with the new Lemon King president. And I gotta meet with the fucking Melon Men. And I gotta meet with, okay. Alright, okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. For the heads up, cool, I got you. I'm gonna try to make sure that no one's gonna come after you guys. As far as Grapes of Wrath do, no one from my neck of the woods should be after you. Maybe the Lemonheads, but I got a lot now to have on my plate. Just here's what I want you to know. Next time you meet Elijah, you guys are going to have to steer him away from me in particular as a bad guy, because we did what we had to do in order to survive. We didn't sell some kid some powder that was going to blow his fucking face off. We gave a group of people what they asked for, and that's all we fucking did.
We would never bring any harm purposely to you, so that's acceptable.
She rolls her temples and she says, if Elijah comes into this bar and kills anybody, you guys are going to be the first ones we're after.
Oh,
deal.
Fine.
Your rooms are still set up, so deal with that, but whatever, just also, you can tell whatever militia you want in this town. They already know about the powder. I'm not really worried about that. Enjoy your day.
As long as you don't hurt anyone, I have no reason to.
And then you guys are free to leave.
Alright, so me and Griffin kind of walk away from her, and as we leave the tavern, what time of day is it?
It's, I want to say it's around 5:30?
Baggio is trying to remember about what time the circus starts.
6.
I thought we were going to go meet Elijah now.
At sundown. It's not sundown.
Yeah, we
yet.
meet Elijah at night, so what we were going to do is go to the circus to kill time and then go. Because we got like an hour or so. Alright, so we head towards the circus in the middle of town. Is that where it is?
Apple Hub.
Apple Hub? Alright. So we head there, we get to Apple Hub, what do we see?
It's kind of a long line for the Fiasco's Flying Circus. There's kind of a long line getting inside of it. There's a huge tent with a bunch of people outside dressed in costumes, dressed like spirits. Some of them are just flying around on some type of, flying, air quotes, on some type of string, like terrorizing some of the people in line. You guys are free to go inside if you so wish.
Do we still see the statues of all the spirits?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright, Baggio's gonna look leery-eyed at the one of Lady Lullaby, and then he's gonna keep walking.
And do you guys get in line? Are you trying to get into the circus, or what's the plan here?
I say we try to get into the circus.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys something. What is your guys' plan of action with the whole Lady Lullaby scenario? Now that you know from Keebler that she has information on all of your questions. Like, what was your plan now?
So I would like to maybe try to get 300 gold somehow.
It's not impossible.
Yeah, of course, Baguio's going to want to do it the honest way,
Right.
That's the problem. Also, I just want to meet with Elijah and prove it to him too, because it really bothers Baguio when people don't believe him. Because Baguio is always honest, and if someone doesn't believe him, it's like, come on, why would I lie? I don't understand.
Okay. Okay. Well, now you guys.
So after we get through the line, let's say 30 minutes or whatever, however long we're in the line passes. After we get into the circus, what all we see inside?
Okay. You guys walk in, and all of a sudden, this thing that the tent, first of all, it was small. It seemed kind of small. Like, how can you fit all of that in
outside,
there? You walk.
And then you go inside.
Yeah, and it's much bigger. Yeah, it's not like a TARDIS scenario where it's like huge, but it's like it's just big and massive. Yeah. And you guys find your way to your seats, and it's dark at first. Everything's kind of pitch black, and then all of a sudden you see a little bit of a light appear, and it's moving around the entire arena, going from person to person, just shining around, and you hear, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Fiasco is about to begin. Welcome, one and all. You're about to be amazed by a significant amount of people. A significant..."
What type of being is this guy again? Like, what's he look like?
You can't see anything yet.
Oh,
this is just
an announcer.
This is just a voice.
Okay.
You may want to run, and you may want to hide, but be prepared to maybe die.
Oh.
And then the light shines down onto this figure wearing this big top hat, and what you see is, without better words for it, a mummy wrapped in these bandages all the way around him. The only thing that you can see clearly is one of his eyes poking out from behind one of the bandages, and like this gnarled mouth.
Oh, so he literally looks like a zombie, like a mummy.
Yes. And he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fiasco's Flying Circus."
Now, do we see Fiasco himself, or like...
Yeah, that is Fiasco.
What does he look like? He's the mummy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does he have a top hat? I'm picturing him with a top hat.
I did say a very tall top hat.
Okay.
Comically tall.
Not like Doug Dimmadome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Doug Dimmadome.
Like, if you need something, all you have to do is ask. No. So, is there anything that you guys want to see? If not, I'm going to take the reins a little bit.
Let's see an elephant show.
Anything you want to do?
I want to see a lion go rogue.
Baguio's trying to flag down the popcorn guy. I'm serious.
He comes near you then.
Griffin is keeping an eye out.
Baguio
right?
is not. He's in the circus.
This is his dream. But like Griffin, with his keen eyesight, is just on guard the whole time, looking around.
How much for the popcorn, kind sir?
Listen, I'm sorry. We're out of popcorn. All we have are grapes.
Oh!
That's an awfully weird backup food.
Well, it was either this or sunflower seeds. Well, I'm sorry, Bird.
What?
We'll take one of each.
And then it cuts to you guys eating grapes and sunflower seeds.
Yes.
Yeah, Weston, can you roll a perception check?
I sure can. Oh, that is...
Oh my god, a nat
that
1.
Is rough. R-U-F-F, rough.
I'm going to roll to see how many grapes I eat. All right.
9. Oh, wow. Wow, fuck, that is rough.
Is R-U-F-F, dude, rough.
That means instant fail if you get a 1.
Yeah, you can't really see. It's really dark, man. You don't... You don't know, man. But as that is happening, Fiasco steps up into the middle of the arena, and he looks up into the camera, and out from his hand pops a smallish looking, just like a stick, and he waves it around the center of the arena, and he says, "Most don't know the power of magic." And then you can see people in the audience just roll their eyes. "But I know the power of darkness."
Oh.
And then the lights go out and no one sees anything, especially Griffin. But you still all hear his voice, and it suddenly becomes inside your head that you can hear it. And he says, "People don't understand things that happen to you or things that happen to other people. They just know what will happen in their dreams." Baguio, Griffin.
Oh, he said her names.
No, he said, in your head, Baguio, he said Baguio. In your head, Griffin, he said
so
Griffin.
we're hearing a voice in our head.
He's saying everybody's names,
Yeah.
though, or is it
Like, is
specific
it the whole...
Well, you don't know with that perception of one.
Oh, yeah, burn.
He continues on. Also, you guys can't read minds, so you don't know what everyone else is.
True.
But he continues, and he says, "But those who wish to seek magic will always find it. And those who seek to find darkness will only have to close their eyes.
Uh-oh.
Fiasco's flying circus will start with..." And then the lights go on,
Matt
and
goes
you
fingers
see...
across, and he's like, elephants, elephants, elephants.
The lights go on, and you guys see a trapeze and a bunch of acrobatics and a big sign that says... This is what the sign says, but Fiasco says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Flying Masons!"
Oh, come on. The flying Masons?
Yeah, the Flying Masons, dude.
Kind of like the Flying Graysons?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Then you see a bunch of different people dressed in like a similar uniform, dressed in like blue and black with stripes of white going across their uniforms.
So they're Blue Jays?
Yes.
Instead of Robins?
Shut up. Fiasco is continuing, but they're doing all these weird acrobatic stunts as one just jumps with their eyes closed, and the other one, everyone's screaming, the audience, and then all of a sudden an acrobat swoops by and grabs them, and he says, "Now, for your entertainment tonight, there's one thing you guys will have to be aware of. The Flying Masons don't use nets." And the arena gasps, and then the camera starts zooming in onto Fiasco's face, and we see a glowing yellow eye that's peeking over the bandage, but then we see another yellow eye that's glowing underneath the bandage as it stares up into the audience, and he says, "Fiasco's flying circus can be fun, but it can also be very deadly."